Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for the Q&A, so let's go ahead and get this started. All right, first question. I'm about a month into my PhD program, and as you may have guessed, it's very stressful, and I don't get much sleep. I manage the variables that are within my control, like food, water, and training volume, but I'm still having a hard time recovering, and I even think I got a little weaker this past month. Should I decrease training frequency or should I deload more often? For reference, my current training volume is about 12 sets per week per body part. And all conditioning work I do is liss cardio, usually biking or walking. Thanks. All right, here's what I'm going to say. Don't really take yourself below 10 sets. And you probably don't need to cut back frequency. Here's what you should do. Hit each muscle group twice a week. Do 5 or 6 sets, right? 5 or 6 sets. I think your 12 per week, if it's split over 2 workouts, is really good. I think that's very, very good because it's on the lower end. It's on the lower end of where our volume should be to be in the ideal range. And because you're dealing with a lot of stress, keeping it in the lower end is good. Now, what you really are going to have to manage is going to be the sleep. What I'm going to say is that time management is everything. Time management's everything. I run technically 2 businesses from home these days. I have other things also going on in my life. I schedule every hour of my day. I know when I get up what I am doing at 7 a.m., 9 a.m., noon. You're going to have to get that sorted a little bit better, especially when you're working on a hard PhD program. And it's doable. I've had multiple clients who were working on doctoral work of some type. Like I've had a medical doctor who is finishing up medical school. I had a dentist who is finishing up dental school and coached them through it. And at certain points, we have to reduce down, right? There might be phases where you have to reduce these things, your training a little bit. You have to consolidate your training because at a certain point, that extra hour in the gym you might be spending is an extra hour of sleep you could be getting. And here's what I might even say. Maybe where you need to trim some of the fluff is going to be on the liss cardio. You need to look at your liss cardio and ask, what's the minimal amount of this I need to get the benefits I want, the health benefits. Do that amount and then use that as sleep time. Whatever you trim out of there needs to be extra sleep time. Because again, it sounds like sleep is your big issue. So melatonin is your friend there. Melatonin and time management. All right, next question. Do 1 rep maxes benefit rep work sets in terms of recruiting as many upper threshold fibers to get as much hypertrophy on the volume sets? Reason I ask this is that you see so many people who say I don't max out because I strictly train for hypertrophy. I'm going to say yes, but here's going to be my little side rant. Don't bother to help those people. I don't help those people. I don't care about those people. I won't take them on as clients. And it's not because I don't care about hypertrophy, because I clearly do. And quite a few of my clients you guys have seen are pretty jacked. So we care. We care about hypertrophy. But people who don't care about performance at all, don't worry about them. Let them do their own silliness. Let them do whatever they want and not care about their performance in any way and let them continue to be weak. Okay, let them be weak, let them be unathletic. And that's their business, right? Don't waste your time with them. I don't. I won't even take them as clients. So let's talk about the other point. There's a degree of truth to that. Heavy singles can help you attenuate upper threshold motor units. They can absolutely help. But there's a lot of things that can help with that. Could make the case for plyometrics. Right? You can make the case for plyometrics. Before you do any of your lower body work, why don't you do some jumping on boxes to warm up? I'm not saying to do a bunch because when people hear me say warm up, they're thinking something crazy. No, 3 or 4 jumps on a box. Do med ball throws for upper body, right? 4 or 5 of them, that's good. Maybe 10, right? That's all you need. but it will help attenuate the upper threshold motor units. Your heavy work definitely will. Now, the heavy work will also fatigue you, but that fatigue has a training response. You know, it's funny, the same people will talk about going close to muscle failure, taking a set to failure, and they don't seem to realize that the only reason they're doing that is to get the upper threshold fibers that you will hit on any heavy single that is above 85%, definitely at 90% 1 rep max. Right, you'll get the same thing. Again, this is why I often say, look, part of the key to getting big, do it quickly, do it effectively, heavy work than your pump work. And pump work can mean a lot of different things. All right, for some people, it's a 5x5. For some people, it's 10s, 15s. But heavy work than a pump work. Again, that'll get you big. All right, next question. Is there actually any good data for how much difference in bicep growth there is between hammer, supine, palm-up dumbbell grips, or easy curl versus straight barbell curls, or is it all theory anatomy we base this on? It's all theory and anatomy. It's all theory and anatomy, because one of the things we find is that generally when you look at a lot of the comparative research, curls just aren't that amazing. They really aren't. And I'm not saying they don't produce muscle growth. What I'm saying is we had multiple studies showing that vertical pulls, even lat pull downs, produce just as much muscle growth as curls. Lat pull downs with the overhand grip. Okay, let that one sink in for a moment. There was more than one study on that with more than one demographic. Like they looked at intermediate lifters, they looked at college athletes, they looked at novices, so on and so forth. That just is what it is. The only study that's even shown a back exercise doing less was Schoenfeld's study comparing 6 sets of dumbbell curls to 6 sets of dumbbell rows. But keep in mind, we know rows activate the biceps less, basically if we go off EMG. But they still got good growth off the rows, but they got more, measurably more from the curls. But as far as comparing different type of curls, no, not really. I honestly think straight bar curls are your best way to go. Based on anatomy, if we were going to look at EMG data, look at basic anatomy, straight bar curls are going to be king. People who say their wrists hurt on them don't know how to grip the bar. Or their forearms hurt, they don't actually know how to curl correctly. That's usually the case. All right? And everyone out there who uses a straight bar for any significant weight and doesn't hurt understands exactly what I'm talking about. These people don't know how to hold the bar. And that's usually the cause. Or they have a really weak grip. But yeah, I tend to lean in that direction. Straight bar work is probably best. Although there is something to be said for some supine work and hammer work if you need the extra brachialis and radial brachialis. If we're talking purely the biceps, which is what you asked, no, I think straight bar is the way to go, hands down. That and chin-ups. Combine the two together, you really have something. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time in part 2.